Hello, sports fans. My name is Mark Mortier from Yesterday Sports. You're about to jump into another thrilling sports history moment. But first, let's dive into today's sponsor, just in time for the holiday season. Introducing Art of Words, the brainchild of word artist Dan Duffy from Philadelphia. Dan meticulously crafts stunning images by handwriting relevant words from some of the greatest sports moments in time. These unique, budget-friendly illustrations are the perfect gift, sparking cherished memories and capturing hearts. Choose from city skylines, sports, history, and musicians to find a piece for everyone. And here's the exciting part. For that sports fanatic in your life, gift them a piece of their favorite team or player's history. Art of Words tells a compelling story. Explore collegiate stadiums, each meticulously crafted with every football victory etched in words. Or venture into baseball stadiums, handwritten with every player from the team's illustrious history. Don't wait. Order a print today for yourself and your loved ones this holiday season. Transform your wall into a gallery of captivating art and surprise your family and friends with a print of their own. Use code SHN15 at artofwords.com for a 15% discount on your order in November and December. Visit Art of Words, where words magically transform into stunning art, evoking cherished memories and touching the hearts of those you care about. Again, use the code SHN15 for 15% off at artofwords.com.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Just wanted to do a little NFL podcast week in review after the whole crazy week of the first week of free agency and all these trades going on. Holy crap. So let's talk about Cleveland first, getting Deshaun Watson and also Amari Cooper this week. I don't think that really helps them too much to get over that hump. Baker Mayfield's played hurt a lot, and I think he was a good quarterback for that system. Deshaun Watson's, is a little higher caliber of a quarterback, and it doesn't sound like he's going to get suspensions. Might have to pay a fine, but he even got that worked out to where Cleveland pays his fine for him. That's fucking nuts. Then, wide receiver wise, we got Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones still. So you still let go of Jarvis Landry. Like, I think Cooper and Landry would have been a good fit together, but then you're going to let Landry, then you're just going to waive Landry. That's crazy, because now you're just left with Peoples-Jones and Cooper, and I don't think that really helped your team out much either. Then you still got your tight end of David Njoku and Harrison Bryant, so you don't have Austin Hooper anymore. Like, again, I don't think there was a whole lot of. I think Cleveland's relying on Deshaun Watson coming in and pulling a Matt Stafford. That's what I think they're actually planning on doing. So I give that trade. Now you get. I give that trade grade of getting Watson for all those first rounders a C at best. And then you got Baker Mayfield, and basically he said, "I want to be traded," and the Browns said, "No, we're not going to do that." Has denied his trade request. So now you're left with Watson and Mayfield on your roster. And so you're going to just leave a disgruntled quarterback on your roster the entire time? I don't know. And then you don't want to trade him to the AFC, which kind of makes sense. But if you trade him to Indianapolis, you only have to play him in the playoffs. Like, who cares? Trade him. Then you have the AFC West that just went bonkers. Holy crap. The only team that didn't do anything was the Chiefs, and all they did was get Juju Smith-Schuster is all they did to help out that receiving core. But they did lose Brian Pringle. I mean, it's an upgrade. So you're going to have Tyreek Hill and Hardman and Smith-Schuster and then Kelsey. So I guess upgrade there. But you lose. But you haven't done anything on the defensive side of the ball. You still have. I mean, you let the Honey Badger go, and you haven't fixed your inside linebacker problem with Anthony Hitchens still out there on the free agent line list. So, Chiefs defense is still going to be a little suspect. You got the Chargers who are like, yeah, we got a pretty good offense, so we're just going to go out there and get Khalil Mack and fleece the freaking Bears. I mean, how the Bears going to give up a first round pick and a few other picks for Khalil Mack, and then when the Chargers come knocking on your door, you're just going to give them away for a fifth and a sixth? What kind of crap is that? Whoever thought that trade was going to be a good idea is not there. And then you got Bosa right there with them. So you got Mack and Bosa. They're just going to, rush in. So you got pass rushers. I still don't think you have a really good back end secondary. So again, you upgraded to one position, but you're still hurting in others, and you haven't solved that problem yet. Then you got the Broncos. Got the Broncos going out there and getting Russell Wilson. Like, okay, cool. I'm proud of you. What do you get Russell Wilson, guys? But who's he going to throw the ball to? I mean, I've already said this once before. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton's not Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Like, he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. But hey, they actually did get some defensive help by getting Randy Gregory, who stiffed the Cowboys, all because of language in a contract. I guess when you get suspended by the league for smoking weed, you kind of look at that contract language pretty seriously. So good for him, though. I mean, when do you go get that $70 million from the Broncos? Speaking of a Bronco, former Bronco Von Miller gets a 6-year, $120 million from the Buffalo Bills. Excuse me, Buffalo, but just what were you thinking there? Dude's 32 years old. Yeah, I get it. It could be voided after 3 years, but you're gonna pay the man still $59 million for 3 years, and he wasn't even the best rusher on the Rams last year. And you can find that out when I broke down the Super Bowl preview, crying out loud. Like, I had some guy on Twitter trying to tell me how great Von Miller is, and I'm just like, bro, have you looked at his stats? Like, no, he's not that good. Thank you very much. I mean, he's not Von Miller of like 27-year-old Von Miller. You're getting 33-year-old Von Miller. Let me tell you, there's a huge difference. Homie's only got, he had 9.5 sacks with the Rams and the Broncos last year, but still, I mean, you're getting him at 33, and you're going to pay him till he's 36. Like, legit, pay him till he's 36. Who does that? Apparently, if you're Buffalo Bills, that's what you do. I mean, they have a really good secondary, so yeah, and then you also got to try to get that front end locked down, but Von Miller is not your guy to do that. Like, spread that money around, get some like depth up there. No, I don't know. And the whole beef started on Twitter in the first place because I said Josh Allen wasn't a top 5 quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm a huge Josh Allen fan, but I don't think he's going to duplicate what he did last year. He's going to fall back. He's not going to be a top. And then we're talking about fantasy quarterbacks too, by the way. We're not even like really like stringent stats. I mean, like, where do you think he's going to fit in as a fantasy? Who's your top 5 fantasy quarterbacks? And I didn't list Josh Allen and then pissed off this Buffalo Bill fan that just starts coming into my comments about how the Buffalo Bills upgraded the Von Miller and their defense is pretty good and blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, calm down, man. Like, Josh Allen's not going to be a top 10. Is going to be a top 10 QB still next year. Yes. Is he going to be a top 5? No, I'm sorry. But when you got Derek Carr that's going to be throwing to Renfro and Waller and Adams and Brian Edwards getting year 3 now, like, he's got weapons there. I mean, that dude's not going to go over there and be a slouch either. I have Carr as a top 4 fantasy QB next year because he's going to throw the ball around. Like, thank you. I mean, and then you still got to factor in Deshaun Watson. I know he's going to come into this Brown situation, but they're going to basically have him throw the ball around. You got Lamar Jackson still, who's going to run the ball still. I mean, He's still got Mahomes. You got Aaron Rodgers that's going to throw the ball around, even though he's got no wide receivers. So, like, I don't know where this guy was coming from, but apparently he's a huge Bills fan. So I found that out. So back to now. Let's get to the Raiders of this AFC West, because the Raiders like defense. Shit, we got defense. We're gonna bring in Chandler Jones. We'll bring in Brandon Bolden. We're gonna bring in Rocky Ya-Sin. We're gonna beef up that defense a little bit. We're gonna release Nassib. We're gonna release Littleton. We're gonna get rid of Kowalski. So yeah. But hey, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring in the best wide receiver in the league, in Davante Adams, to play with our quarterback, who just happened to be you have to be his college football coach or football QB as well. So, if you want to see a really good team, go watch that Fresno State 2013 team. Like, that team was legit good. And now you got Josh McDaniels, who's an offensive mind like crazy, and definitely I'm pretty sure he learned his lessons from being the whole Tim Tebow experience there in Denver to become your head coach. And as much as I don't like Josh McDaniels, I sure do like him now. I don't like Dave Ziegler either till now. I mean, they're Raiders. Heck yeah, once you become black and silver and black, you never go back, son. So Raiders going to light up the scoreboard next year. I don't care what y'all say. Derek Carr is going to be right there flinging the ball around. Guess what? His average yards per reception just went from 6.9 yards to 8.3. And then you got Mr. First Down in Renfro, like third in Renfro. Here we go. I mean, Waller, hopefully he gets healthy and he can stretch the field out too. Like, that AFC West is going to be wide open, but the Raiders are going to take it. The Raiders are going to win that division. The Chiefs are going to fall back a little bit because they already started to this year. They haven't boosted up their defense. The Chargers boosted up their defense, but with Khalil Mack, but haven't really solved anything else. The Broncos just got Russell Wilson, and everybody thought that's just going to take the cake. And I'm sorry, but that's not what's going to happen. All right. So the Mr. Raiders and Al Davis is going to be walking in, or Mark Davis is going to be start walking into the owners' meetings like Frazier, like Cosmo Kramer on Seinfeld's walking around in a pimp suit all over New York. So that's going to be great. And I have yet to figure out what the heck's going on with these Dolphins and their situation. I mean, yeah, Stephen Ross has got a new coach, but you have a running back already on Myles Gaskin, right? I mean, that's your running back. And then you're going to bring in Raheem Mostert, which I understand McDaniel's bringing in. I understand, new head coach bringing him in because that's what he's going to do. Like, he wants a guy that knows his system. Okay. But you still have Gaskin, who's easily a top 20 running back. And then, so you got Raheem Mostert coming in. And then you're also going to bring in Chase Edmonds. Like, where were the Arizona Cardinals on keeping Chase Edmonds? Like, they don't have a running back at the time because I think even Connor's a free agent right now. So where are you going to put all these running backs there? Miami? I mean, your running backs room can't be that big, right? I'm sure it's not. And then you already had Ahmed there, and you already had Malcolm Brown. Like, that running backs room is pretty damn full, and you don't have any wide receivers. So let me know when you get some wideouts, because that really helped too, more than 14 running backs. Next up is we're going to talk about Green Bay real quick. I mean, what the Packers do. Like, oh, hey, we brought Aaron Rodgers. We talked Aaron Rodgers to coming back for another 3 years at $151 million. But then Davante Adams says, yeah, I ain't signing that franchise tag. And then the Raiders like, hey, we'll give you a first and second round pick this year. And they're like, all right, sounds good to me. I'll take that since Adams isn't going to play with us anymore. Like, the Raiders just fleeced the Packers just as much as the Chargers fleeced the Bears in that Davante Adams deal. Like, what were they thinking? And you give up the best wide receiver in the league for a first round and a second round, which equals only to being the 13th pick in the draft anyway, if you add the two together. Like, as a Raiders fan, I'm going to take it. I'm going to love it, Davante Adams as a Raider for the next 3 years at least, because he can opt out in 3 years. But Hey, then looking at his contract, he gets a $20 million roster bonus next year. So he's only making $3 million base salary this year. So, I mean, that's pretty dirt cheap to me. And the Packers, who are you going to throw the ball to? Alan Lazard? Valdez Scantling? Like, those guys drop balls worse than stone hands on unnecessary roughness, for crying out loud. Or unnecessary roughness. You know, the movie from the 90s with Scott Balky, with Scott Sinbad and Kathy Ireland, you know, about the North Dallas college squad. Yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, you should really check it out. It's really freaking good. And it's funny. And then you got Jacksonville. Okay, so last team we're going to talk about today on this little 15-minute rant that I got going on is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's a team that was like, yeah, you know, we got senior Urban Meyer here, and he didn't really work out too well. So we're going to bring in Doug Peterson now, and we're going to bring in Trent Baalke as our head coach and GM. And then we got Trevor Lawrence here. So we got a first pick of the draft. So you know what we're going to do? We got Travis Etienne coming back off injury. We got James Robinson already. That's pretty good. Oh, hey, you know, maybe we should get some wide receivers. So we go out and get Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. I'm sorry, but that's a pretty good. Those are a couple good pickups. Like, that team's, we throw Christian Kirk out there, who is probably one of the best slot receivers this year, right behind Hunter Renfrow, and even stepped up when Hopkins was hurt. Now everybody thought Rondale Moore was going to take over for the Cardinals, and Christian Kirk kept him in check. So you get Christian Kirk, you got Marvin Jones, you got Zay Jones, you got Shenault. Like, this is a pretty good receiver core that the Jaguars have. Then you throw in your tight ends. You got Dan Arnold and Evan Ingram. Like, I'm sorry, Evan Ingram, thank you. Like, I'll appreciate that. I mean, you lost Miles Jack, but that's okay. He went to the Steelers. You also get our guard and Brandon Sheriff. Like, how this team's going to be a contender in the AFC South. I mean, you don't have to worry about Houston. Tennessee's pretty much stood pat. I mean, they did trade for Robert Woods today, which, by the way, the Los Angeles Rams were like, hey, Bobby Trees, hey, thanks for tearing your ACL, but, you know, we're going to bring in Allen Robinson, and then we'll just ship you off. So have a great day. Thanks. Here's your Super Bowl ring on the way out. Like, I get it. It's business, but Ryan Tannehill's going to love good old Bobby Trees there in Tennessee. He's going to fit nice right next to A.J. Brown, better than Julio Jones did, and probably stay a lot more healthier, since he's only, before that ACL injury, he only had missed one game. So, again, so the Jaguars, the Colts don't have a quarterback right now, and it doesn't sound like Baker Mayfield is going to go to Indianapolis, as much as that makes sense, but the Browns are going to hold that deal up because they're the Browns. Then you got Tannehill and Derrick Henry up in Tennessee, so yeah, the Jaguars very much could be in the hunt for a playoff spot this year, and if not this year, then definitely next year. Or this, you know, if not in this coming up year, but definitely 2023. They could definitely be in the spot for a playoff spot. So, I don't know. That's all I got. It's a real quick 17 minutes of podcast. Hey, as always, hit that follow button on whatever you're listening on, be it Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Overcast. I'm on Good Podcast now. So, yeah, we're all out there. Always hit that follow button, and always make sure you hit the notifications so that way you always get updated when I drop a new episode, because this week is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of episodes this week. We're going to be dropping 7 episodes, not counting this one, this week, starting Monday. It's going to be all Major League Baseball, so I'm pretty sure all my non-baseball fans are going to be like, you know, we're going to tune that out. But you shouldn't tune that out at all. Baseball is a very popular sport within this country, and I understand that there was a lockout, and I understand that pissed some of you guys off, and you guys want to try to blame the players for the owners being greedy, but that's the way it is, okay? The owners are greedy little bastards. That's all there is to it, okay? The players are just trying to get a bigger chunk of the pie. Let them have their big chunk of the pie once in a while, all right? Let's just can't we all just sing Kumbaya around a bonfire and get along? I mean, wouldn't that be nice if owners and players got along for more than 5 years every time there's a CBA that's up? That'd be awesome. So follow me on Twitter, one guy with a mic. Follow me on TikTok, one guy with a mic. Last time I checked before I let this out, I was 175 followers short on TikTok of getting 1,000. So you know what the rule is on that. Whoever follows me on TikTok and Twitter, the first live we do, we're getting shout outs to everybody. I don't care if I'm shouting out 200 names, bro, y'all getting a shout out. As always, find me on my website at anchor.fm/Chads-Kane3. That'd be awesome because you can go there and let's donate to the support of this podcast. I'm trying to get, I got a streaming room to build, boys and girls. Okay, so I mean, and all you super fans out there of this podcast, that'd be awesome if you guys help me with that because then I get a stream camera and y'all can see this beautiful face. So let's make that happen. What else do I got going on? Not a whole lot of anything else after that. So enjoy your night, enjoy your day, enjoy whatever day you be listening to this to, whether it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Man, it's all, have a great day, peace, love, and hair grease. But I go back to my NFL end of the year review is last game of the year, you need to win to get in the playoffs. You hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Like, I understand Carson Wentz is a quarterback, but you hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Now, so you got Stafford that's thrown 2,000 more yards, but again, that's the offense. That's the excuse me. That's the offense. That's the play type. You got different things. Indianapolis really doesn't have wide receivers. I mean, you got Zach Pascal. You had Ty Hilton. You had some tight ends, but you're pretty much Jonathan Taylor is going to be your offense, right? Right. So now Wentz is traded again to Washington, right? Because allegedly he can't get along in the locker room. My guess is he was probably calling out the play calling and wanted the ball to throw the ball more. Hence the reason why in the last game of the year he threw the ball more than he had thrown any other game of the entire year. And you're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. So then you trade him away. You bring in Matt Ryan, by the way, who is older than dirt, and and had more. He had the same amount of pressures. He had the same amount of pocket time as 2018 Matt Ryan as he did this year, and yet his stats went considerably down because guess what? Matt Ryan's getting old, folks. I don't know if you know this, but Matt Ryan's is an old dude. Like, he's starting to slow down. Matt Ryan should just retire. He should just hang it up. Just retired already. Just say, see ya. I'm done. Thanks for the career, guys. But no, he's going to go to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is going to try to run him out there. I mean, and it's not going to turn out well. I mean, they still don't have any wide receivers. You got Michael Pittman Jr. and Ty Hilton because Zach Pascal signed elsewhere as a free agent. So, and I don't think Pittman Jr. is that great of a quarter. I don't think Pittman is that great of a wide receiver. So you're going to trade Carson Wentz for Matt Ryan. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Jeez. So, and then you got Jim Irsay coming out and saying that Carson Wentz idea was a bad decision. Like, he about made you to the playoffs, bro. Just saying. I bet you Washington with Carson Wentz and Ron Rivera as the head coach, who's a no-nonsense head coach. Washington, and with the Cowboys' defense being losing players and that offense losing some players because they don't have Amari Cooper, they don't have Cedric Wilson. I really think that Washington. I thought last year Washington was going to win the East. Okay, I still think the Washington can win the East division. And I think they'll do it again and I think they will do that this year. Okay? All right. So, Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, about the same. Right? Right. Not really. I mean, eye test tells you different, correct? If you go with the eye test, it's completely different. Jeez. All right. The last set of quarterbacks. Here we go. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more off because one QB's got more starts than the other, but that's okay. All right, QB-A has 61 starts, 39 and 21, 1,245 completions, a 62.3 completion percentage, 14,114 yards, 103 TDs, QB rating of a 91, 46 INTs, and been sacked 118 times. And he has 31 rushing TDs. Wow, 31 rushing TDs? Can we say QB1 for... Can we say he's a QB1 this year? Top 5 quarterback for in the draft this year for fantasy? I would say with those rushing numbers, with that rushing TD record, yes, I would for the last 3 years. That means for the last 3-4 seasons, he's averaging over 7 rushing touchdowns a year. Holy Hannah. All right, quarterback B, 40 games started. He's 26 and 14 as a starter. Only 777 completions on 1,146 attempts. 67.8 completion percentage, 96,002 yards, 59 passing TDs, and a rating of a 98.7. He's only been sacked 33 times. And he has 4 rushing TDs. Now, like I said, this one's a little bit of a harder comparison because the other one's got 21 games on him. But here we go. Let's see if you can think about it. All right. Oh, and both QBs were in the playoffs this past year. We'll throw that out there. And one made it to the NFC Championship game, and the other lost in the AFC divisional game, right? Yes. That is correct. Lost in the AFC divisional round. All right, so here you go. Tell me who it is. I'm pretty sure you probably guessed quarterback B, but that's okay because there's only 2 in that game, and we've already talked about 1. So there's your obvious giveaway. All right, doobie 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 doo doop ba doop ba doop ba doo. All right, quarterback A is Josh Allen, and quarterback B is obviously Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, Jimmy Garoppolo is getting a shaft out there in San Francisco with all the rumors around. Should be a starting quarterback somewhere. Should definitely be able to lead a team. I think his passing's down just because Kyle Shanahan doesn't want him passing the ball. I mean, when you have, for the last 3 years, the Niners have basically been trying to run the ball. And I think that's because Shanahan is trying to prove something about that Super Bowl loss when he was up 28-3 against Tom Brady and didn't just run the ball. That's all he had to do was just run the ball, and he would have won a Super Bowl. But no, he gets Matt Ryan out there, and they throw 54 passes in the second half because they're complete morons. And now as a head coach, he doesn't even pass the ball barely. It's always run. And you have one of the best tight ends in the league. And then you have Deebo Samuel, and you have Brandon Ayuk. Like, come on, people. Like, and Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. Like, jeez. But note on Josh Allen, I don't have him finishing as the top 5 quarterback this year because I think that Mahomes and Rodgers and Derek Carr and Lamar Jackson and maybe top 5. Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson makes top 5. So, yeah, we'll throw Josh Allen as... Yeah, I'd say Josh Allen finishes at number 5 in the QBs. So, definitely think he should be the first quarterback off the board in your draft. And also definitely think that he should finish as a top 5 QB, especially if he continues to get the rushing touchdowns that he's been getting lately. This last 3 years, if he continues that 7 pace, I mean, that's an extra, 42 points right there? Yeah, 6 points for a touchdown, 42 points right there. Then he's averaging about 24 passing touchdowns a year. So, to only almost around 12 INTs. Yeah, I would say make Josh Allen that first QB off the board. I wouldn't take him in the first round, folks. Do not take Josh Allen in the first round. Okay? Take him in the second. Be smart, people. You go running back first round is what you go. Unless you're in a PPR league, then you go wide receiver. But you do not go quarterback first pick. All right? All you freaking noobs out there that need fantasy advice, wait till the summer because we're going to have a huge fantasy breakdown of all the positions, and it's going to be grand. Okay? So, Jimmy Garoppolo is getting screwed over in San Francisco. I don't think, and he's had surgery done, so he's not going to be ready till training camp. And what are you going to do? Trade him mid-season? I don't think that pulls off. I think you're going to keep. I don't think Mayfield gets traded at any time, and I don't think Garoppolo gets traded at any point in time either. Just saying. And that's going to suck for both those guys because they both should be starting QBs in the NFL. I mean, they're both better than Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, broke down Jameis Winston in New Orleans, and whoever the heck the Texans are going to throw out there at quarterback, for crying out loud. Either Sims or Allen or whoever, one of them should be starting over Jared Goff in Detroit. Like I said, Matthew Stafford to Detroit. That's what I want. I want Matthew Stafford in the D, baby. That's what I want. I want him and Dan Campbell to get together and just run that NFC North. Because again, a pissed off Baker Mayfield is going to be magical. All right. So, what else we got about my NFL rant? My Raiders, folks, are winning the AFC West. Hands down. We won the offseason. We're winning the AFC West. Why do I say we're going to win that? Hey, one guy. The Chiefs still have Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, but he's throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster, and MVS. Give me a break. Who's going to throw the ball to mostly anyways? Kelsey. Come on. Oh, and if the Raiders get Mathau, and Gilmore, which they still have money to do, they still can afford to get both. That secondary is going to be unbelievable. The Raiders have made the most moves on both sides of the ball more than anybody else in the league. They got better on defense. They got better on offense. As soon as you get the number one wide receiver, I don't care who you are now way better on offense. Because guess what? Bryan Edwards, as much as I love the kid, is now your fourth option, which is fine. He's going to be your second guy on the outside. You're going to have Renfrow in your slot. You're going to have Waller at tight end, who, by the way, I'm sure McDaniels is going to line him up, in 4 wide receiver sets because homie can play wide receiver. The dude is fast. And then you got running backs of Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. That's a two-headed monster in that backfield. People don't understand. And then Derek Carr has only improved every year. Now it's a new system, everything else, but Derek Carr is a smart cat. He will get it figured out. He'll get it done. So, Raiders are winning the West. Mark it down. Put money on it. Send it to the bookies. All right. Man. And then, we can't. Let's finish up with the big news of the day or of the week. Tom Brady decides to come out of retirement. Bruce Arians decides to go to the front office so that way Todd Bowles can become head coach. Awesome move on his part. Bruce Arians, that was, I understand Brady not coming back. I understand Brady retired. Then you don't make that move because you don't want to give one of your coordinators, either Bowles or Leftwich, you don't want to give either one of them a bad team to have that to really get whitewashed again in the NFL by those guys. The same thing, because Bowles up in New York. Bowles was a good coach, is a good head coach. He just had a crappy Jets team. I think Byron Leftwich should be a head coach somewhere. For real, a great offensive coordinator. So I think with those two continuing to be head coach and offensive coordinator, it's going to be huge. Let's see what the Buccaneers do. They got Godwin, they got Evans, they got Russell Gage now. And Russell Gage is going to be a way better slot receiver than Antonio Brown was. So, yeah, I think that Tampa Bay team is going to win the NFC South because you got the Panthers, you got the Falcons, and you got the Saints. And you have the Falcons with Mariota as the quarterback right now, and you have the Saints with a broke-down Winston and a backup is Taysom Hill. And then you got Carolina with Sam Darnold. Your best player is McCaffrey, and that's if he doesn't get hurt. Come on, people. So, yeah, I think the Buccaneers win that South. Tom Brady, he's just I really miss football, folks. Guess I'm not really going to give it up. I got home, and dealing with trying to do math homework is way harder than trying to read defenses, even though Tom Brady's a smart guy. So, I mean, he hasn't been in the league for 23 years for nothing, right? And still playing at the ripe old age of 44, 43, 44, whatever. So, yeah.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I wanted to thank you for stopping by to listen to another episode here on the Sports History Network. Our podcasters are passionate about uncovering and sharing sports stories from yesteryear. And if you didn't know it already, we have over 30 shows across the network covering all sorts of sports history topics. In fact, here's a glimpse into one of our awesome podcasts here on the network.
The Pigskin Tales podcast is all about the lesser-known pro football players. Yes, there are stories about the ones we know, like Brad Tarkenton and Harold Red Grange. But have you ever heard of Ernie Nevers? How about Dave Osborne or even Grady Alderman? These men created their own path to the NFL. How did they do it? Listen to the Pigskin Tales podcast, now streaming on your favorite music platform. Go to pigskintales.com.
How about that? I bet you're super hyped to go listen to that new podcast, right? Well, to learn about this show and all the other podcasts on the network, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com/podcast. Again, that's sportshistorynetwork.com/podcast. Head over there today to find your next favorite sports history podcast.